Hey everyone, Chris Sawyer here. The Varietal Show is back. I am at Chehalem Winery right here in Willamette Valley, actually up on Chehalem. We're near the ridge. This is Katie Santora and the winemaker extraordinaire. We've been talking about great wines today and just having a fun morning here in Willamette Valley. It's great to be back, Katie. Great to see you again.
It's great to have you back.
And I want to I don't want to tell you too much about the timing, but it is around Halloween, and we walked through the whole what was happening. You just finished a crush here for the 2022 vintage, and she has on each tank and each fermentation barrel, there's basically all the Halloween characters that you've ever wanted to know are on. There's a picture of each one on each barrel.
Yes, this is a very late harvest as of recent for Oregon. And so since it's in October, Spooktober, and we had to name all the Pinot ferments with a spooky name. It's very spooky here today.
It's good, but this is not spooky, this is just delicious. So we're talking about the Pinot Blanc right here. This is a 2021 vintage. Pinot Blanc, for everyone out there, just a little tidbit about it. So why do I love Pinot Noir so much? Because it's a super genus. It's not just a grape. And this is a white mutation of Pinot Noir right here. We're talking about Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris too, even Pinot Grigio, you guys. So patio pounders are even related to Pinot Noir. So, but this is grown-up stuff. So that's why this is amazing. So Pinot Blanc here for you, we're up here, we're looking kind of at the bigger part of Willamette Valley. We can see it right out that window right there. We're looking right at the town of Newburgh, and way in the distance, about 10 miles from here is McMinnville. If you guys know, really when you come here, you got to go to McMinnville and have some foods there. We love that, one of the new places that really has come into presence there. But Nick's is like the classic there. But you've got all sorts of stuff downtown, and you've got Linfield College, which is one of the oldest on the West Coast, and it's just
wow. IPNC happens.
IPNC, International Pinot Noir Celebration.
Yep.
Never forget it. And be here next year. It's in July. It gets hot. Just telling you. Okay. That's why you need more Pinot Blanc.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a really great style of Pinot Blanc. It's very Alsatian, I will say. Some of the other ones get really ripe and they get kind of waxy and just, this is just beautiful. It's a little bit more lean, and I'm thinking about 50 different pairings with this versus just like, okay, geez.
Absolutely.
This is just brilliant. So what do you like about working with this grape?
So Pinot Blanc, as you say, is a mutation of Pinot, and we love Pinot here, but Chehalem has roots of Alsatian wines, and just really promoting that white wines and aromatic whites can be done so well in Oregon. We have had Pinot Blanc a part of our portfolio in the past, and then for a few years didn't make it, and then a part of one of our new estate vineyards has some established Pinot Blanc, and it's just beautiful. From this vineyard, it's a little higher, so a little cooler, so it keeps more of that like tension, that brightness that you're talking about. But also, I think white wines that are coming from this vineyard have this really, I don't want to say special because that's very like ethereal, right? Yeah. But definite particular aromatics that come out from that vineyard that are different than other sites that I've worked with. And so for me, it's really trying to hone in on those pretty aspects that I think make it different than other.
And this is just up on the hill right behind us, right?
Correct, yeah.
And so a little bit higher elevation, gets a lot of wind coming in on the top level of this. We're not that far from the ocean here. Tillamook, actually, you guys know Tillamook cheese, it's that way. And it's about 50 miles or something like that, but it's a good ride actually, but take your time driving that road. It's a little twisty, turny. But up here on this hill, we're like getting close. Like if we were up on the hill and had a good view, we'd be looking at Portland out there in the distance. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's really interesting. I just love this wine. It's it's great to see Pinot Blanc is one of the things about Oregon, and especially Willamette Valley, that the Pinot Gris, we thank a lot of wineries like King Estate and places like that really got to promote it, and now it's really part of it. But also here at this winery, Chehalem Riesling. Riesling is a big deal here, and we don't have it right in front of us because pretty much it gets sold out all the time. but you did bring a little bit of Riesling in, did you not?
Yeah, like yesterday was our last day for fruit, white fruit and red fruit, and it was our Riesling is usually the last white grape that comes in, and yeah, it was beautiful. It had, you know, a little bit of that botrytis, which is actually really nice and lovely for Riesling. Usually when I see perfect Riesling grapes, I feel like we've missed a mark. You really want some raisins, because that really brings out the aromatics that we love in Riesling so much.
Awesome. Well, cheers to this one. It's good.
Cheers.
Yum. Okay, moving on. Pinot Noir. You guys ever hear about that? Willamette Valley. What does Willamette Valley stir in your mind? Pinot Noir. Go figure. This is one of the wineries that help do that. And you know, Chehalem, when we talk about Bill Stoller and especially you know, Harry Peterson Nedry and this winery here, it was established. These grapes were planted back in the early 80s originally on this property here, but this is actually from Ribbon Ridge, which is up on the hill kind of above Dundee, down the road from us here, and a little bit higher elevation. What's the difference in the soils up there than it is here on the this spot here at the estate that we're
Yes, so the estate is lowest soil, which with Pinot Noir, what I get is more fine-tuned, bright red fruit, where on Ribbon Ridge it's marine sediment, and usually you get with that a little more depth and like natural tannin in general. So wines without even adding new oak or anything to it are just naturally full of a bit more weight to them. And so for our Reserve Pinot Noir, we really want a wine that goes really well with like a nice steak dinner, that can stand the test of time, that can age, that you know, really on a special occasion, you want to grab that bottle and be like, Chris is in town. This is a special occasion. Let's try this Reserve Pinot Noir.
Exactly what she said. Just beautiful on the nose. We were tasting it a little while ago, just before we really sat down to talk. But I mean, it was like young and tight, and I had so much energy. Now it's kind of spreading its wings and going. I'm kind of graceful too. So it's
definitely a little more elegance to it.
Yeah, and it just takes a little bit of time. Sometimes a decanter works, and that was helpful when I tasted the Corral Vineyard Designate last night. It was like I busted out that nice decanter. It was really great. And still, I poured a little bit for this morning too. It was delicious for breakfast. Just saying. Yeah. So just great on the nose. I mean, you know, what I love about your style and the style here at Chehalem is you really want these grapes and the site to shine. You know, you could be heavy-handed, a heavy-handed winemaker, but that's not really what Willamette is about. It's about showcasing these sites. And Ribbon Ridge is such a special area that not that many people get to go to. It's not on the beaten path here. You got to drive, and it's kind of like a deliverance road, actually. And you're like, oh, really? We're going up this road, and you know that music's going to start. We'll start to play, and I hope you have gas in your car, because if you don't, well, I don't know what's going to happen. But
then you get to the top of the ridge and there's these beautiful vineyards and it's really magical because it's one of the smallest AVAs here. And I feel really lucky that we get to work with amazing fruit from that site. Yeah,
well, you've got a great vineyard manager too, Jason, who's like one of my buddies who knows his music as well. And the thing is that these vineyards are all special. They're related to a thing that is related to a brand that is a brand within a brand, and that is Bill Stoller and the great Stoller Vineyards. And this is a Chehalem Vineyard Designate from Stoller Vineyard. And this is estate grown because the ownership is the same. And so this is an amazing thing. Here we go into this amazing one. We're right down the street from Stoller Vineyard. Well, not just down the street, sorry. It's not really a street, it's actually a highway. But it's not that far from here, but it's different than we are up here on this hillside looking west, and that one's a little bit more facing southwest, and it's really a sloped hill. It looks exactly like Burgundy. That's why I thought it'd be kind of fun to sit in front of Willamette Valley. You think this is Burgundy behind you just by looking at this map and how it got really mapped out. Now, I will say one thing, and I will see him in a couple nights, but David Adelsheim, I give that man a lot of credit for, everyone loved Dundee and they wanted to make that the appellation. Oh yeah, this is Oregon, this is Dundee. And he said, no, we make it big like Burgundy did, and then we make small appellations within it, and people actually listened. And that's why we are where we're at today. It's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, good for David Alshon. Don't think we're not thinking about you, David.
Yeah.
So here we go into this. You know, Stoller Vineyard is very, very beautiful place and one of the great destinations. Just like, you know, people come here to taste Chehalem at the tasting room downtown, and then they come to Stoller, which is a total experience. And I will do a show with them as well. Of course, I'm in Willamette Valley. What else would I do? But you know, you know, it's just a special thing to be able to work together, and especially with a certain vineyard and certain blocks. Tell us a little bit about this site.
Well, I think what I love about this site and just our Pinots, once you get into our direct-to-consumer wines, is that we have 4 estate vineyards that are in different AVAs, which really showcase different aspects of the Willamette Valley, like you were saying. So the fact that we get to work with some fruit from the Dundee Hills on the Stoller Vineyard, this vineyard is beautiful, and I think one of the largest continuous vineyards in the Willamette Valley. So like you say, you pull up and it's an experience all itself, just visually beautiful. But the fruit that comes out of there is so quintessential Dundee Hills. There is, you know, can range between the blue and red fruit that comes from Pinot Noir, but the tension and the tannins that come out on the palate are just really well balanced. Where, for example, the Ribbon Ridge, I feel like, is always a bit more grippy and bigger, and this really walks the line of like a beauty between acid tension while showcasing the tannin structure that is in the wine.
Yeah, I love it, and this has got that little bit of 2A Wadensville Swiss clone, and also Pomard in here, like the old school stuff, old school Willamette. And you know, I got that right off the bat because of the way I always do this, you guys. So root beer candy barrel candy. You remember that? Because I always get it out of 2A, and I was right again. I did ask you if it had 2A in it, and I was right. Just saying. Now you know. That root beer barrel candy, if you see some in the market, you need to buy some just so you understand where I'm going.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Thank
Cheers
you.
to that, definitely. So thank you so much for having me here, and you know, it's wonderful to always talk with you.
You too.
You make such a good rosé too. We could have
thank
gone
you.
on forever, you guys, about their wines. Chehalem.com. I just love what really happens here.
Thank you so much.
And it's a great thing, and I love your enthusiasm. You're a mom, you're a winemaker, you're the person in charge of people that are like just walking in the room after doing punch down, washing their hands.
We are just finishing harvest.
This is
literally
really,
this is
on,
real
guys.
right now.
It is on in Willamette Valley. And thank you once again,
Thank you
Katie,
so
for having
much.
me.
Thanks
Cheers.
for coming. Cheers.